Okay. My name is Adriana Kelly, and I've gotten to know some of you via email. I am the Assistant Director for Student Resources in the online MSW program, but I also serve as one of your academic advisors. Our other academic advisor is with me today if she wants to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Minoska Hernandez. I'm our new academic advisor to the program. I was in admissions, so if you recognize my name, that's probably why. I definitely recognize some of yours, so it's exciting to be able to work with you guys at this capacity.
So, as I mentioned, we just have a brief presentation to kind of sort of kick off your start to the MSW program, and we'll go through it pretty quickly, and then we'll have a chance to chat with you, answer any questions you might have, or address any concerns that might have come up in the between getting admitted and starting. So, let me go ahead and pull up my presentation. And if you have any questions while I'm going through this, you can feel free to pop that in the chat and I will have Minoska keep an eye out and we'll be sure to address those as we move forward. But yes, thank you for coming. We're just having this first new student welcome is it kind of came because when new students started in previous cohorts, I noticed that there were a lot of questions that they had maybe in the first week of classes that I thought we could address ahead of time and maybe streamline your process a little bit more for getting started. So thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate you being here. As you know, we're your advising team, Minoska Hernandez and Adriana Kelly. We will be the individuals who help you through the program from start to finish, along with a success coach named Barbara Bush. And if you did the orientation, you might have seen her name listed there or a reference to the success coach. We will help you with academic stuff. So we will help you with your plan of study, getting enrolled in classes, events, scholarships that are within the college, employment opportunities we become aware of, anything academic. The success coach is a person who is able to help you kind of address any barriers that you might have to your learning throughout the program. So if you're thinking, oh, if I could just get over this one hump, it would make everything okay. She's a great person to talk to about what that obstacle might be and working through it. She's also great at helping you connect with other departments on campus, including the library, the writing center. If you are interested in attending anything on campus, she can kind of assist with that. As a UCF student, you are eligible to come to campus and partake in lots of things as a student on campus. There's just a few things that as an online only student you don't have access to, and that includes health services as well as our CAPS, our counseling and mental health, and psychological services. But almost everything else you have access to, and Barbara is a great connection to those things. These are some important things to remember as you move into classes that begin on Monday. Some of you may see a course appear on the web courses dashboard, which is where you completed your orientation for the program. If you don't see it yet, it will be there by Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Occasionally, the course doesn't appear, or it appears and then it goes away. If anything strange like that happens, or you don't see it appear by 10 a.m. on Monday, please send an email my way and I can troubleshoot and figure out what's going on. If you find yourself with issues while you're in the course, if you have access to it, but you're not seeing something, or you click something and it's broken, or it's not taking you where you think it should be taking you, web courses support is what you is who you need to contact to help you with that kind of stuff. We're not really technologically savvy on that end, but they have access to all of that and they can assist you with that. As you know, we have two terms within a semester. So we have accelerated 7-week courses. Your first course for term one begins on Monday, May 13th, and it will run through June 28th. Term two begins on July 1st, and if you can see from those dates, that means that there's only a weekend between the two terms. Typically, in the fall and the spring semesters, you will have at least 1 week, sometimes two, between the terms. So summer is kind of a tight turnaround. So you will go back to back with your 2 7-week classes. And then something important that you need to handle in the first week of classes is the first assignment within your course. It usually is a discussion post or just an introduction where you write your name, who you are, where you're from, that kind of thing. But what it does is it shows financial aid, if you're receiving financial aid, that you are demonstrating that you're enrolled in the class. Financial aid will not release to you if you do not do this first week activity. So the first week activity is typically due on Friday. So when you log into your class and review your syllabus and all that stuff, please be sure to pay attention to that first week activity. So as I said, you have 2 terms within the semester. Your first course is going to be human behavior in the social environment. If you do not have a social work background or human services background, this is going to be all the information about what it is to be social workers. And it's a lot of information. It is a course that involves a lot of reading on your own, and you will have quizzes every week. And it is not the most fun introduction to our program. So I like to set the expectation for students that the rest of the program will not look the way that this course does. There's very little interaction with your cohort and your instructor in this course because there's so much information that we need to get across to you to get started in the program. So some students will take this course and think, oh, this is not the program I thought it was going to be. This might not be what I'm looking for. Some people love it. They love having the autonomy to just read and take the quizzes as they come. But some people are really craving that interaction, and it's not very present in the first class. So I just want to, let everybody know we know that it's like that. We hope to change that moving forward. But for right now, it is challenging in that it doesn't really have those interactive aspects. Term 2 is a different story, and you will take diverse client populations, or we also just call it the diversity course. And it's a lot more interactive. You'll have a group project with your classmates. There will be much more interaction with your instructor. The instructor that you'll have for this second course, she's great about providing outside resources like videos, journal articles, lots of other stuff outside of the textbook that's required for the course. So keep those in mind. The pace is very quick for all of these classes. So if you find something that is challenging within the first few weeks and you think it's going to prevent you from succeeding in the course, reach out to us as soon as possible so we can discuss options or maybe make a plan for how we can get you through the semester successfully. Because they're so quick, if we wait until the last couple of weeks, our options are limited in terms of what we can do for you. If you are expecting to receive financial aid, you will have needed to have fill out a FAFSA for 2023-2024. We are not financial aid wizards, unfortunately, but we can point you in the direction of those who are if you have any questions about financial aid. But I will just let you know that if you did apply for financial aid, you are expected to receive they will pay your classes and they will disperse any extra amount to you directly after the add drop period, which is Friday of the first week of classes. So if you did everything you needed to do, you filled out your FAFSA, you will get the remaining aid that is owed to you in the second week of classes. However, that's only in the case of the summer semester. The expectation to qualify for financial aid is only 3 credit hours in the summer semester, where it is 4.5 hours in the fall and spring semesters. This means that in the fall and the spring, only in your first year of the program, if you receive aid, it will not disperse until after the start of the second term of the semester. But as a caveat, our payment deadline is much later than anyone else at the campus. So for example, our tuition for the summer is not due until July. So there's plenty of time for the aid to come through and get processed before payment is due. If you see a deadline that is listed before that, like you might see it now, say that it's due the 24th of May, that is incorrect. You will not be expected to pay the tuition until July 26th. That's our deadline. And I can definitely answer any questions about this because I know this is kind of a confusing point, especially with the semesters, spring and fall being different than the summer. I know it can get confusing. So My UCF is a student portal that houses kind of all of your academic records and allows you to do everything you need to do as a student and as an alum. So this is where you're going to register for classes, pay tuition, you can review your financial aid, request your transcripts, check your final grades. This is where you'll apply for graduation. You can check your GPA, all that sort of stuff is housed in My UCF. And I'm going to show you here. This is what your student center, the main screen looks like. And if you have logged in, you've probably seen it already. But you'll have this drop down menu. And here is where you'll kind of go anywhere to get the stuff that you need. So where it says other academic information, if you click it, you'll see all the options here like enrollment, drop, withdraw, intent to graduate. That's when you apply for graduation, requesting your official transcripts, checking your plan of study. All that is listed there. You'll also see in the middle of that student center is your upcoming schedule or your current schedule, depending on when you're looking at it. So everybody who is starting with us in the summer should see these two courses listed as your upcoming classes. And it says room to be announced, but there will be no room. I promise. You have online classes only. So if you ever see something strange in that box, you can disregard it because you're only eligible to enroll in online classes. So even if it said something bizarre, the class has to be online for you to be enrolled in it. So you'll be all set. The most important thing that I think on this page that you need to pay attention to is a box that says holds and one that says to-do list. So if you have holds on your account, you have to click on it and see what the hold is. Some holds prevent registration. So they might prevent you from registering for a future semester. Some holds are just on final records. So maybe you were on campus and you got a parking fee. They would put a hold on your account until you paid the fee, and they might prevent you from requesting a transcript or getting your diploma. So you do want to keep an eye on the holds as they impact registration and potentially graduation. If you click on details, you can click on the individual hold to see what it is and find out where you need to either contact somebody or complete something in order to get that removed. The to-do list is more of a, hey, if you're getting something done, please pay attention to this. So if you are going to file for financial aid, you'll have a to-do list, maybe for fall or for 2023, 2024. Or next semester, it'll show 2024, 2025. So depending on that, you'll see some items in your to-do list. One of the items that you'll see for your to-do list is your graduate plan of study. You have already submitted that. So during your orientation, that was one of the documents that you reviewed and you signed, and it's already on file, but it takes a little bit for the people who put the items on the to-do list to mark it as completed. But if you see it there, you feel free to ask us about it, but you're all set with that. That's something that we require you to do before you can get registered. Another portal that we offer to you, and it says homework at the top because I mistakenly copied and pasted that, excuse me. um, Advising portal is through web courses. So you might see it on your dashboard as a non-credit web course next to the orientation and any other courses that may have been added to your dashboard. This is an internal thing just for the online MSW students, and it's a place to find program information. I think of it as kind of being an advisor on demand. If it's the middle of the night, you're up and you're studying, you're doing whatever you need, and one of us is not in the office available to answer your questions, this is a great place to check. So we will share program announcements there. including information on registration, graduation. We also will share scholarship opportunities, employment opportunities. If there are events happening virtually or on campus, we share all of that through the advising portal. It should automatically also send those announcements to your UCF email, but I know some students turn off the notifications. So just be sure to check in periodically to see what's going on with the announcements. Another important thing to notice in the advising portal is the academic calendar. With our 7-week terms, we do have a different academic calendar than the main campus. So as I said, our payment deadline is deferred. It's later than everything else. Some of our start times are different. Our end times are different than the main campus. So we keep our own academic calendar, and that's housed in the advising portal. There's also a copy of your plan of study in case you don't know where it is. If you can't remember what your next class and stuff is, we keep them in there. You can learn about field placement in the future. You can learn about what a generalist placement is versus a clinical placement, what the process will be like to go into field. You can also learn about moving ahead with licensure once you graduate, if that's something that you're interested in. So if you haven't been added to the advising portal yet, it will happen before Monday. So you'll see it there by Monday. And this is just sort of what it looks like when you go in. If you click on modules, these are all the sorts of things that are included in there. Your handbook, more stuff about field, licensure, getting started. We have a Facebook group, which I did indicate in an email, but if you're not on Facebook, don't worry. We send all the announcements to the advising portal as well, so you won't miss anything if you're not on our Facebook. All right, I think that is it for this. Let me stop sharing my screen. Those are really the biggest questions that seem to come up in the first couple of weeks with students. So we just wanted to sort of hit those points before you guys get started on Monday. But now we'll open it up to you and any questions that you might have about getting started.
Hi. I have a basic financial aid question. You guys might be able to answer. So if I'm planning to pay for the first semester in full, but I'm not sure about the second semester, would I still need to submit the FAFSA now?
So you're talking about fall, not this summer?
Yeah, so I plan to pay for the summer out of pocket, but I'm not quite sure about fall yet.
Okay, it's open. The FAFSA is open for 2024, 2025. So you can definitely go ahead and have that ready, have that submitted. What you will do is they will sort of give you an award amount, and it might be way more than you need to cover the cost of the second term class or this of the semester, if you're going to pay for the first class and then the second class. So you can decline or adjust the loan offer that they give you. So if they're saying, here, you can have $10,000 as a loan, you can say, nope, I really only need 1,500 to cover the cost of the course.
Okay.
That's all I want to receive. So you can make that adjustment, but you can go ahead and file that FAFSA now if you're ready. If you have that information and have it on file for you for the fall.
Okay, so the one that's in there now on my to-do list is for 23 to 24. Does
Right.
that include the fall or no?
Doesn't, it's the academic year, and Minosky, you might have to remind me. I can never remember if it starts in the summer and ends in the spring, but I will find the answer for you and let you
Okay.
know for sure. Just to be sure. I believe the 2023, 2024 covers up until the end of the summer semester. And then the new FAFSA for 2024, 2025 starts in the fall. But
Okay, so I would potentially just ignore this one on my to-do list then because it's not for the fall.
right. So I will definitely
Okay.
get clarification on that for you, and I will let you know.
Okay, so it sounds like it's better to just apply for it for the fall one, even if I don't end up using any of the money.
Exactly. You can
Okay.
totally you can decline the entirety of the award if you
Okay.
don't have to accept it. It's just like, we're offering you this much. You can take a little, you can take none, whatever you.
Okay. Thank you.
Then if while you're thinking of any questions that you might have, I'd love to know where you guys are from. I know that Minoska might be familiar because she did your admissions, but I'm not as familiar with where you're located.
Hi, Emily here. I'm sorry about my video. This is a new laptop, so I don't have the settings all figured out just yet. But first to start off, I am located in Cleveland, Ohio.
Awesome.
And my question is, I have a vacation planned already. It's for actually lines up with the end of the first term.
Okay.
We're leaving June 28th and we'll be gone for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Do you recommend, should I reach out to the professor of that second term class just to let her know ahead of time and
Yeah.
see?
So it depends on how you want to do it. I would definitely recommend contacting her to let her know. I would suggest doing it closer to the start of the second term as
Okay.
opposed to now. The instructor for the second term is an adjunct instructor for us. So she doesn't teach full time at UCF, although she did previously. So
Okay.
she may not be checking her UCF email as frequently until it gets closer to the date. So you might just sit there and not get a response for a while.
Okay.
So I would suggest sometime in June sending her a message to let her know that you have this pre-planned vacation and you'll be unavailable. Some students, depending on where they go when they have these trips, like I know sometimes when you're on a cruise, you can't just check your email or check into a
Mhm.
course. But something that's important is that first week activity. And if you're not able to submit it and you do expect to get financial aid, just keep in mind that it'll be delayed if you don't do that first week activity in the first week.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it would be out of the country, so just trying to, I'll get with her for sure and
Yeah,
see
and she'll
what.
probably provide you a copy of her syllabus.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
like, you won't be able to submit ahead of time, but if you wanted to do some reading or something ahead of time, that
Sure.
might be a possibility.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
I don't have another question, but I'm from Syracuse, New York.
Oh, okay, great. Sometimes we have cohorts that are like very much located here in Florida, but it does seem like we have a nice range of students across the US for this cohort.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I guess I'm the only Floridian here today. I live in Naples.
Oh, cool, nice. Well, Minoska and I are both in Orlando at the main campus. We work remotely a few days a week, so you won't always find us here, but this is kind of our home base. And yeah, it's cool to see we've got 3 different states represented here for our students. The summer cohorts are always much smaller than our other cohorts. I kind of like that because I feel like you develop a nice connection with the people in your cohort.
How
The
many do we have?
Just under 25 right now. So it'll probably be between 20 and 25 that you see in your classes. Some of them will have fewer students, some of them will have more. For example, your elective classes, because you'll have an option to take different electives, you won't see everybody in every class. But for most of your academic classes, you and your cohort will move together through. And our other cohorts that start in the fall and the spring are usually upwards of 50 students. So it's nice I think it's nice to have the smaller group. I think the connections are strong. Something I want to say, in our other cohorts, a lot of times somebody will start a group me or a WhatsApp chat or a Facebook group specific to the cohort. I haven't heard of anybody doing that yet, but if I do, usually somebody will message me and I'll send out the information for others to join. So if any of you would like to be that person to set it up, feel free to let me know and I can put you in contact with the others. But otherwise, I'll let you know if somebody else volunteers for that. And that's a good way to stay connected. And you just like ask questions about like, oh my gosh, I didn't understand this assignment. I'm waiting for the instructor to respond, but does anybody else have any ideas about what it could be, that kind of thing.
So our class is already up in web courses. Is everybody already on there? Do you know?
I don't. So there's still a few students who are working on orientation and who haven't been registered yet, so they're not in the class yet. And also the way that the courses release to web courses, I can't say definitively if everybody has access yet. I know you will all have access by Monday, but it's sort of wonky the way that it gets opened. So you should all have access by Monday. If you have access now, maybe Brianna and Emily do as well.
I just happened to notice it. I got used to checking that my last school was called Canvas.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Um,
so we have some instructors that open the class a week ahead of time, some who open it the weekend before, some who only open it the day of. So it varies. We don't expect you to access the class until the first day or until the first week of classes. There's no expectation that you log in at any certain time. As long as you're submitting the assignments by their deadline, most courses can be done anytime you'd like to. There are a few courses that have synchronous components, which means live components where you have to be present at the time that everybody is present, but the instructor will let you know about those ahead of time. And they usually offer multiple dates and times to accommodate everybody.
she actually opened the whole class. You can read all of the assignments
Oh,
already.
wow. Yeah, so that's another thing that some instructors don't do. They might just open one module at a time. So each week might have a module and they only will let you see one at a time. So that's up to the instructor's discretion, and they don't all operate the same. But that's good to know for your first class to have a look at everything to see.
Don't read it all at once. I did that and it was a little much.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of reading. But keep in mind that future classes will be less boring, I wouldn't say less difficult, but like, I mean, it is dense. So better better stuff is coming.
I actually just thought of a question with something you said. So I happened to get on the other day and saw that the class was posted. So I did look at the first module assignments, and I saw that I think it was reading 3 chapters of the textbook. And by the end of the week, there was, I think, a quiz that went along with it. What happens if the professor does not open it ahead of time? Because I panic bought all the textbooks
Sure.
and the APA manual. So what happens if you don't have the books yet to do the work by the due date?
Yeah, so you would need to work out something with the instructor or check with our library to see if there's a copy on hold, a digital version, or something that you can see the textbooks that way until your texts come in. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Thankfully, mine will be delivered in time, but they're
Yeah.
coming by Monday. So
Exactly.
I
No,
didn't know what would happen if I didn't get it until, the end of the week.
yeah, and that's a difficult thing too with the 7-week courses. So just for future semesters, the textbook should be posted shortly for the fall semester. And if
Okay.
you see on your plan of study through orientation, or if you find it through the advising portal, you can see what your classes will be to search for those materials ahead of time. So I just suggest doing it as early as possible, but I know these first courses, it's very quick to get in, to do the orientation and get registered and get those textbooks. So most of our instructors are pretty accommodating, especially in these early classes. They know like you're just learning how everything works, how to log into classes and how to submit things. So most of them will work with you. So just keep in touch with your instructors is my best piece of advice.
Okay.
So that's all that we really have for you today. We just wanted to introduce ourselves, get to know you a little bit. We will host like a check-in session for new students within your first term, just to see how things are going. And if any other questions have popped up or concerns have popped up while you, we usually do it around week 3 or 4, so we can see how things are going. So look out for an invitation to that. And yeah, we're available anytime you need us. You can set up an appointment to meet with us. You can give us a call or send us an email. And we're nice and responsive. So feel free to ask anything you need.
Thank you.
Welcome. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
one.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.